it's Hannah again, and I'm so glad that you could join me. Today we're going to go through my new baby boxes. We're going to have a look at what you need and what quantities of each thing you'll need for the first couple of weeks. Now, I have had a baby, I'm not going this completely theoretical, and I know the amount of stress that I went through in the first couple of weeks trying to make sure that I used everything and I rotated evenly through things, and the sheer amount of baby stuff there was, and feeling that I had to make use of it because I had it. Babies don't need a huge amount. Then when they get a bit older and they're starting to be a bit more sick, but in the first bit their clothes are so tiny, you can slip them in with any wash and use them again. So join me as we go through exactly what I'm going to be keeping and how much of each thing for if we have another child. So, as you saw in a previous video, I went through and I sorted all of my baby clothes out into one big blue box and then these two wicker baskets. Now, these wicker baskets don't hold a huge amount, but they hold plenty enough for the first couple of days. And I'm going to put in not just my first size of gender neutral clothes, but also my boy stuff and my girl stuff. So to start with, for my first size, for like your up to 1 month, your newborn, I wouldn't keep too much in there. Unless your baby is under £8, you're unlikely to use it, and you're not going to use very much of it. So my first baby lived for the first 3 months in basically up to a month size clothing. However, you can always buy stuff if you need it then. So I would keep all of that in gender neutral, keep it in whites, greys, like blues, interesting lemon and yellow and green, which are really common colours for babies. When people don't know if it's a boy or a girl, they make yellow or green things. They can actually make your baby look like it's got jaundice. So a lot of places now advise against you using that, because especially for new mums it can be a little bit of a panic when they suddenly see that the clothes have reflected on and given their baby's skin a greeny yellowy tinge. So most places would avoid that kind of colours. So I'm going with blues, whites, I've got some greys, but just keeping it really basic. So I'm going to sort that out now. One thing that is really, really useful are the sleep sacks. My little one lived in sleep sacks. We're going to use maybe 1 or 2 a week. So I'd say have 3. Have 3 decent sleep sacks that you can keep a hold of. And I'm going to put those in this wicker basket on this side, because we're not going to need those initially. When you bring baby home from the hospital, they obviously can't be in a sleep sack because you can't strap them into the car. So I'm going to put that in my staying at home. Now, I've got 3 pink ones. As I'm going through, I'm just pulling out anything that I just found really awkward to use the first time through. So in that, any sleep suits, so I call these, with the feet on the bottom and the long sleeves, I call them sleep suits. And I call these, they can have short sleeves or long sleeves, just these ones that don't cover the legs, bodysuits. So just to clear up any confusion, because I have heard them referred to as onesies and sleep suits and bodysuits and so many other terms. So when I say sleep suits, I mean like the outfit all in one with feet on the bottom. And when I say bodysuits, it just covers the body. It comes down and does up under the nappy, and that's it. Now, when I am going through, as I said, I'm just pulling out anything that is really awkward to get the baby into, that I kind of left at the back of the drawer and thought, oh, I really like the pattern, I really like the colour, but it's just a nightmare and I don't want to use that in the middle of the night, so I'll put it to one side. So I've got a set here of sleep suits with the poppers, you can see just down one side. So when they're just down one side, that means you've got to twist, so you've got to put the baby's leg in that side, and then you've got to put it in this side. But when you want to do the nappy, you've either got to take the baby completely out the sleep suit, or you've got to try and pull the baby's leg out of this side to get to it. So it was just awkward, and for late night feeds, it was not very useful. I love these. They just say, I love my mummy so much, I love my daddy lots and lots. They're bright, love them, but they're just not practical. So I'm not going to keep them. That leaves me with 4 unisex white, grey. I love this one. This is my favourite. It's got little buttons all over it and it's so cute. And then I've just got a couple with 2 with stars on and 1 with stripes. So I'm going to keep those. They're kind of gender neutral ones. One of those will be the one that I take into hospital with me probably. I'm going to keep this little nightie. I've had this nightie for so long. But when a baby's in hospital, it's just so much easier to change the nappy and get them dressed and into clothes and out of clothes if they're in a nightie. So I always take that into hospital. Take 1 nightie. Even if it's a boy, doesn't matter, you're only going to be in there a couple of nights probably. And then I've got 3 pink sleep suits. My sister gave me some and she's not planning on having children anytime soon and she had a lot of pink stuff, so she's passed them on to me. So I'm going to keep those as well, but I'm going to put those up the other end of the basket. And now I'm just going to go through all my bodysuits, check that none of them have got stains on them. I think they're all pretty much, I think they're all white to be honest. I've got 3 with no sleeves. I'm keeping 1 with long sleeves, keeping 3 short sleeves. Then I'm keeping in this box as well 2 little bibs. They're the little triangle bandana bibs. I'm putting in a little pull-on hat for in hospital, and I've also got a little bonnet because if it's a girl I'll probably change her into that to come home. And then somewhere in here I'm keeping these. So these are little bootees and there's a little mitten set as well. But they do up with buttons on the side, so it makes it really easy for first-time parents or midwives or anyone else like that to just get them dressed nicely. I think that's our first baby box done. So I've pulled out these. So just to recap, we've got 2 bibs, I've put in 2 hats, I've put in 3 pink sleep suits, I've got 3 of the first size with short sleeves, the bodysuits, and 3 with no sleeves, so that's a 6 in total. And then I've got a long sleeved one, which will do up to 3 months. 1 nightie and 4 of the first size of sleep suits. And that is pretty much all you need. That will cover all the way through. I am going to have a quick look through because I know that I do have some dresses and some t-shirts and leggings that are also first size, but they're all girls. So I might put those in one of these wicker baskets, I might not. And we will see what happens. So all of my first size stuff actually fitted into this one wicker basket. This one here. So this is all hospital stuff, it's everything. I'll need to pull a shawl out to take into hospital with me. But that's in my blanket box, I've got that completely separate. So thanks for joining me as I've sorted out the newborn stuff, and I'll put a list down in the description box of everything that I'm keeping for my first size of baby clothes. So thank you, and I will see you again soon. Thank you for joining me.